Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Oh, hello, everyone. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, this is an unannounced uh, public service message to MGTOW. And I want to talk about my new plan, right? And I want to give you an update as to what's going on with Howard Dare because it's been a long time. It's been a really long time. It's been 5 years. Now, I've put out some videos in the meantime, right? But I was on the streets, okay? I was using public Wi-Fi. I was, uh, I was forbidden from speaking to you, okay? I know that sounds insane, right? But it's true. I had legal orders saying not allowed to speak. Crazy, isn't it? Um, do you think it had anything to do with my MGTOW content creation from a long time ago? I'll tell you, I met a lot of people who just recognized me straight up by my voice. So my new plan, I have to reintegrate myself back into society, back into, well, my society. I don't give much of a damn of society in general, but I do care about MGTOW. I do care about my people here. I do care about my brothers that are suffering. I do care about the other men that are coming up, okay? Because I know what they're coming into. I know what kind of a meat grinder they're coming into. They don't. It might not happen to them, okay? I pray that it doesn't, but it probably will in some form or another. It definitely will. As a man, you're going to get screwed. And I mean hard by the very people that you have sacrificed in order to support. Hey, man, what's going on, Voltaire? Well, Mr. Smile, I'm saying rather. Uh, no, I really do care. I've been in these drug treatment programs. I don't really have a drug problem, but it's been a place to live, right? It's better than being on the streets, especially when you're legally forbidden from doing what it is that you do for a living. So the people that I've met, I've been in contact with these people. I've been sharing rooms with them. No, I'd rather be hanging out with you guys. Okay, please let me hang out with MGTOW once again. If you hang out with crazy people, you will become crazy. If you listen to crazy people's content, there's a good chance they're going to influence you in becoming crazy. So the new plan is to get myself integrated back into society since I've been forbidden from doing anything. And, I'm a different person now, right? So it's like, oh, I want to go back to doing what I did. It's like, you can't go back home again, bro. It's like meeting up with an old girlfriend or an old friend. It's like, I barely know this person now. So in order to reintegrate myself back into society that I care about, and I want some feedback from you guys. I'm just going to come on here and share some basic messages in the morning, and here's the thing. I'm not doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for me. I know that's crazy. I mean, I am doing it for people, but no, I'm doing it because I need to do it. So my plan is to take the very messages that I give to myself. And I don't always listen to myself. Like I say to myself, I'm going to start thinking positively. And then I just go back into the habit of thinking negatively. Now, if you can make a commitment about something, if you can state something to other people, they can hold you accountable. They can be like, hey, Howard, I thought you were going to be here, every morning at 9 o'clock. And you're not here. And it's not just like you missed a day. It's like, no, you're not doing it. So by involving ourselves with other people that we think have integrity and honor, that we believe, they can hold us accountable. They can buttress, yeah, you like that word, our commitment, right? Because if the commitment, I know this is hard to say, and it's true for me, if the commitment is just to me, I may be willing to drop it. And it's too important, okay? Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you, I need your feedback. I want to know if you think it's a good idea. I want you to hold me accountable. I want to have this dynamic with you guys. Because the basic lessons that I try to give myself, I'm able to ignore them and just turn aside to them. This can hold me accountable. So to start with, okay, check it out. Stay positive. Don't make this too complicated. Stop thinking about, your feelings and stuff like that. There's just some basic stuff as a man you've got to do on a daily basis, right? You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to put in some hard work to keep your strength up. You've got to control your appetites. Life isn't about getting what you want. Life is about you controlling what you want, what you need, and then securing that without making yourself crazy. That's one part of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I don't have $5 million. I'm so unhappy. That's so silly, right? Like, well, that person should just go out and earn themselves, a few $100s then, right? And not complain about not having the 5 million just falling into their laps. See, this is a terrible side tragedy. If you imagine that there is something out there that can fulfill your wishes, anything, okay? If you imagine that there is something outside of you which can fulfill your wishes, you will be beholden to that. You will pray to that. You will look to that and hope for that. Now, I'm not qualified to say what's what in a metaphysical universe, okay? But you are a man, right? And you live in a material world. And if you'll take care of the basic things in this material world, including yourself, you'll probably do pretty good in this material world. Now, if you make yourself crazy thinking about emotional things, no, you're going to go off track. You're going to go off, into the tall grass. Don't do it to yourself. Okay? Be content to be a basic man who has the ability to earn his way in the world today. And that's it. Okay? The universe doesn't owe you. God doesn't owe you. The imaginary positive vibrations don't owe you. Nobody's judging you. People generally don't care about other people. So, this is actually a good thing. Okay? So if you'll do the basic things that you need to do in life, you can have a decent life. And I'm saying it to myself, men. Okay? If I can do the basic things in life to get by in life, to build up, to substantiate my future, okay? If I can do that, there's every possibility that things are going to turn out for me, okay? And there's every possibility that it's going to turn out for you too. Now, I can sympathize. I know that the system is against you, all right? They've passed a bill in America to automatically register anybody between the years of 18 and 25 for the draft. Wow. What a favor they've done for you. You don't even have to bother to register. They'll do it for you. Because if they gave you the choice and you chose not to do it, they would charge you with a felony. And I can tell you, you don't want to be charged with a felony. No, you don't want to walk into that situation at all. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate it. And, like I said, I just want to come on here and, give you guys the update. So, I was legally bound to not speak. I know that's crazy. Or work. It's called house arrest. And, it's better than being in jail. But it's not freedom. So I had that going on for 3 years. You may ask yourself, if they put you under house arrest, but you're on the streets, what do you do? First of all, they unjustly put you on house arrest. Okay. And they've destroyed your life so you don't have a home or money or the ability to get any of it. What you do, what they tell you to do is to hang out near a particular street corner. And understand they're monitoring the felons. They've got ankle monitors on. The reason why I'm going into this, partially it's to kind of purge out my feelings of resentment and anger regarding a situation like this. But it's also a cautionary tale, to let you know that this is coming for all of the men. That's what the selective service bill is. Everybody who doesn't, who tries to avoid it, they're a felon. And when you're a felon, you are tax cattle. You're cattle. Okay. The state gets to use you to petition the federal government to give the state money to take care of their criminal problem. Problem is, you're not a criminal. They're criminalizing basic male behavior. All right. So if you go out and you earn your way in the world and you carry yourself with pride and dignity and integrity, all the women, all the men, not all, but most of them, okay, they're not going to like you. You're making them look bad. Who are you? And the moment you say anything or do anything that is the smallest infraction or step out of the line or could be interpreted as such, they will bring you into the criminal justice system, just as they did with Donald Trump, and they will run you through that system. And the system itself is the punishment, okay? Because one of two things are going to happen when you're stuck in this system. Either you're going to capitulate and break down and take a plea deal, which is exactly what happens with 99%. Maybe it's 98%, right? It's like, oh, there's a big difference. 98% of all the criminal cases that are charged don't go to trial. What does that tell you? Does it tell you that? Anyway, I could go deep into this. What it tells you is that they're cheating. It doesn't tell you that they don't bring a case unless it's a good case. That's not what this means. This means that the process is the punishment, okay? That it doesn't matter if they can convict you or not. If they can hold you up for 5 or 10 years and destroy your life, the job is done. Okay, so this is why most people capitulate and, sign their plea deals. That's what the system is. It's designed to get the men, to punish them for anything that looks, questionable. So, you better be wearing your gay pride shirts and jackets. Ideally, get yourself a few facial piercings and some facial tattoos. But if you don't, and if you stand up, in a group and say anything meaningful that's intelligent, you're in deep trouble. Okay. Now, don't let this get you down. As I said, just do your stuff for the day, man. Watch your diet, do your workout, put your work in to where you're, moving yourself towards earning some money. Build the systems. This is what I'm going to do. I want your help and support in doing this. In doing this, I want to kind of like share my journey with you with the hopes that it can give you some insight and enlightenment to avoid some problems. Okay. All I can say is that socially, you need to be really careful out there. You don't need to be chatting up with people or interacting with people. You go out, you do your stuff. You're on video all the time. Okay. You walk into the store, you go into the gym, anything you do, everything you do is being recorded. Okay. Live your life as if that's the truth. Okay. Now it's like, well, let's not go too deeply into it. This is when you're in public. Okay. I don't want to make you crazy, but I think the system will make you crazy. If you kind of go along with the system, it'll make you crazy. So protect yourself as a man. Isolation is good. All right. You don't want to be hanging out with the crazy people. They will make you crazy. It will be impossible. It will be very difficult for you to, have your plans, to have your attitude, to execute your plans, to stay on course, to maintain your attitude. That's going to be really hard if you're around people who have a victim mentality. and are using every little problem as an excuse to garner sympathy because that's how they think they gain status and material gain in this world, by gaining emotional sympathy. And yeah, right, that works for a woman, that works for a child, but it certainly doesn't work for a man. And it's very unbecoming. Like, you could get it to work from time to time. I've seen men like this, young men. Uh, yeah, it's mama. That's what they're doing. They're walking around in this world and they're saying, "Mama, are you my mama?" Because they're saying, I'm suffering, I'm in pain, I need help, and they're they're acting as if that in and of itself is a claim on another person's attention and resources and sympathy and concern. And it is for a mother, you know what I mean? But it's not, and even for a friend, right? Like, your friend comes to you and says, "Man, these bad things happen. I'm in a lot of trouble right now," and you want to help him. That's not the same. That's not the same. We've got these, what I'm saying is the people are walking around playing the victim within their own mind and using that as an excuse to, like, garner sympathy from the universe. But it doesn't really work, and it's really unbecoming for a man. So don't do that. So that's my idea, right? Keep it simple, stay focused, stay positive. You will make some progress. And if you don't make some progress, man, you're going to start getting angry, and you're going to start getting tough. And hopefully, okay, you can start getting smart, right? Because when we can combine our passion, which sometimes is anger, our frustration, and our wisdom, I don't know what could stand in the way of a man. I really don't. We're being practical here. Like, I don't need you to sprout wings and fly to the moon, but I might need you to build an engine that can do it. So I think that's, totally within your realm of possibilities, totally within the realm of possibility for me to have a good life, totally within the realm of possibility for you to have a good life, totally within the realm of possibility for you to have relationships. Yes, even with women that are harmonious, that are beneficial, that are empowering. This is your destiny. This is your birthright. Take it. Go get it. Stop listening to the other people. So that's my message for today, for now. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I know this is unannounced. Let me check the, sorry about that. Hey, Dark Solidarity. How's it going, bro? Do what the elite do to keep their kids safe from the draft. What is it that the elites do? They put the kids in college? Because our colleges, it was predicted that, like, by the year 2060, you'd only have like 5% of men in colleges, but that was wrong. Okay. 2040, and there'll be so few men in the universities, in the colleges. The future, right? Like, what do you think? I understand this whole tendency to be like, "Oh man, we are screwed," and then to catastrophize within that. Yeah, I could definitely create, like, end of the world catastrophe content. You know what I mean? Where I just show pictures of, like, blown out landscapes, like Fallout 4, or any of the Fallout games, with the dramatic music playing, and slow fades into, like, scenes of greater and greater destruction, right? Until finally, you come to one of those last kind of like comic book splash page pictures, where you're actually making your point, and then there's the whole thing. Yeah, I could do that. I haven't done it for a long time, so it takes practice. So I'd kind of like to start getting into that, some higher end video editing. Whose videos I like? I like Moon's videos. I think I saw him over on a Undead Chronic. There you go. Right. Like I wasn't able to come up with the name. And then I'm thinking, no, it's got something to do with weed. Right. Boom. There it is. So I'd like to start making, nicer videos. Um, but maybe I'll hire that out. Right. Let's see what's going on. Frater Shate Nihil, and I'm sure I mispronounced that, says, like Machiavelli said, the spotlight is always on the prince. Mm, indeed. And within your life, you are the prince. You are the ruler. And, I like Machiavelli. I really do. And I like the things that he says. But I don't want I don't want to take it too I don't want to become nihilistic about it. I don't want to be like, wow, this is all terrible political blah, blah, blah bullshit. I don't want to do that because that's not exactly true. And sometimes it is. And often political, social, cultural concerns dominate, not a merit based evaluation of results, which is kind of what we want as men. No, it's a social evaluation. And I don't want people to lose sight of the fact that it's this intermingling, of the spirit and the material, right? And the spirit can affect the material. I know it's crazy. I can't really explain it, but I could. And the material affects the spiritual, or it can. So this actually, it's a great option, right? It opens up great opportunities for us, okay? Like great things could just plain old happen to you right now, like a new Howard Dare video, or like an old friend, or like, a new job opportunity. And as strange as it sounds, it can actually be based on your attitude. So one time I was younger, I was maybe about 17 or 19, and I'm driving home from work. And I'm thinking to myself, like Adam in the Garden of Eden, I'm so lonely. This just is fair. And I thought, why can't I have what I want? And I asked myself, well, what is it that you want, Howard? And I thought to myself, well, I want a woman like in a centerfold, right? I want like, a centerfold model. And then I thought to myself, well, that's not very realistic. And the truth is that after, you've had your little intimate time with the person, now you're stuck hanging out with them and, going to get something to eat, watching some TV, talking about things that interest you. And this beautiful centerfold model that I want, there's not going to be anything there. So that's kind of unrealistic. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I just want a nice girl that I find attractive, that likes me, and where we could be friends and we could, help each other move forward in life and, not be so lonely. So, and then I just changed the radio station and continued driving. But I thought to myself, well, that's a very mature thought. That's a more adult way to look at, the whole situation of having relationships. I was only 17 or 19. I got home. Boom. Guess who calls? That's right. The exact girl that, I had said, look, this is the reasonable expectation, not the centerfold, not the fantasy, but, somebody who I can help and somebody who can help me. And, we can enjoy each other's company. Boom. Right there, right in boom, right in my lap. And I just kind of took it to mean, to feel like the way you think about the world affects the world. Like maybe this girl was sitting there saying to herself, gee, I'd really like to call this guy, but something doesn't feel right. This is crazy. This is madness. And then I'm thinking psychologically, emotionally to myself, gee, it would be nice just to get a call from, an old girlfriend, maybe, that didn't turn into anything, but could have turned into something. So I start to think that. And it's as if that flips a switch in somewhere in the universe where she's like, yeah, it is okay to give him a call now. I don't know. That's silly. So I went on longer than I thought I was going to do. Dark Solidarity says they send their kids overseas. Oh, wow. To avoid the draft. If you're out of the country, when they call the draft, you're not legally obligated to answer it. Huh. Yeah, I guess that is about the size of it, right? D-Man 50 says Moon makes documentaries. Yes, he does. He does. And I like that, because I just kind of ramble and post nut clarity. Exactly. Right. Oh, the stories I could tell. But I don't need to. I don't need to because you all know exactly what that is. It's like, what the hell was I thinking? That's right. So I'm going to try to come on here regularly with a message of positivity and hope for men. But the truth is that it's for me, okay? And it's me sharing it with you so that I can hold my feet to the fire. And I'd like to get some of your feedback on there. Documentaries are nice, but they're hard. Hopefully I'll have more time and better connections to the internet now to move forward. So I'm going to keep it short. The Spearman says, I believe we have to peacefully accelerate the oligarchy to make a move. If we wait, we won't have a chance for a soft landing. Yeah, well, that's a great insight, but I don't think that we can necessarily force them to make a move. And I don't know that they would ever make a move to our advantage, but only rather to their advantage. Now, will circumstances come to a head? Yes. This is what change is, okay? People don't want to do something. They don't want to make the effort, and it's painful, and problems happen. Like they don't want to clean their room, and the room gets worse and worse, and the pain gets worse and worse until finally the pain becomes so much that they say, I will clean the room now, right? So societal changes. How are we going to get political class, our legal and justice class? Because that's what they are. They are a class above normal citizens. How are we going to get them to do the right thing? And the answer is we're not. We're just not. And even if the situation comes to a head to where we think they're forced to do the right thing, they're just going to do what serves their interests. Okay, this is understood. You will, yeah. So what do? Well, you look after your interests, okay? And your interests, my interests are very small. You want to get by in life. You want to have a good life. You want to make the most of what you've got. It's not that's not crazy. Their ambition is a little bigger. Their ambition is so that nobody like you gets to say anything and mess up their system. Half Moon Raven says, MGTOW forever. We have the power to change the world. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And if we don't have the power to change the world, we have the power to change our world. Okay? That's right. You can. Half of the Fortune 500 companies in the next 5 years, half of the Fortune 500 companies, they're not on the list right now. Okay? Yeah, 5 years we can change the world. Yes, it's true. But rather than focusing on the external outside world, you focus on the internal world, because there you can make some serious progress. That's the garden, okay? That's where you do the work internally. And then the external work happens. So I want to take care of that. I want to build that up. I want to make that strong. Yeah, it's great to be here. You know what I mean? It really is. Like I always say, thanks for stopping by, everybody. But the truth is no, thanks for letting me stop by. That's what it is. So we're going to do this more often. Let me know if I should move. Well, let me know your thoughts, how to best move forward with MGTOW content. What can we do to make a positive difference? Not necessarily in the world, but in the lives of men. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. There'll be no commercials here on the Howard Dare channel, okay? We're not going to get interrupted with, an advertisement for Tide. Yeah. You know, here, last point. I used to love to watch movies, old Hammer Dracula movies, right? With Christopher Lee. I would go to the movie theaters as a kid and I would watch them, and they were great. But then as I got older, they stopped playing those movies. But I would sometimes come across those movies on television late at night, and I would put them on, right? Same movie. No, wrong. It's the same movie, but it's cut with commercials. So every time the tension starts to build, right, and you're like on the edge of your seat, and you're like, and the buxom bosom is heaving, right? Every time that moment comes up, they cut to a commercial. So the entire feeling of what they're trying to accomplish, suspense, fear, is negated by the commercial. So yeah, I've noticed that YouTube's commercials are popping in like at the most inopportune moment, and they're doing it now in a very tricky, sneaky way. Like perhaps the content creator will say something like, "And we need to do something," and then a commercial will start, and it'll say, "If you need to do something." So it's as if they're tying in audio, visual, contextual, colors visually with the content. Also, putting the sponsored ads in the short video feeds. They're not telling you that it's a sponsored video. So you're not for the first like 2 or 3 seconds, it doesn't show up. So you're scrolling and you think you're scrolling through, the content that you kind of like, but you're not. They're putting ads in there and they're making it look like the content you like. Anyway, so we're not going to do that here at the Howard Dare channel. I won't allow it. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. Support me over on the Cash App donation. You can find links in the description of the video, I think, right? Like YouTube doesn't allow me to put links anymore. But you can find links to the Howard Dare Cash App, donation. And if you're in a position to help me out right now, please do so, because I need to build up my channel. I need to build up my situation in life so that I can be effective with you guys and within my own life. Okay. So I'm tying the two things together a little bit, but you get the idea. All right. Like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Join me again, Howard Dare. We'll try to do this at least once a day. Thank you, MGTOW.